there is another good thing about CMAT exam, that when you'll be coming out after giving an CMAT exam, you will not be demotivated. You will have a happy factor in your mind that I gave that exam and it went very well for me.
Because it's fair.
You end up scoring good or not, but it's an exam, it's a feel-good factor exam. It is not an exam that's going to give you a lot of tension.
Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a 2021 graduate of XIMB with us. Welcome Harshit Sharma. Although Harshit had 95 plus in XAT, the reason he is here today with us is because he had 99.58 in CMAT, and we all know that CMAT is around the corner. So he is here to address a lot of questions that you guys might have. And I would also like to mention that he was the All India topper in 3 of the sections in CMAT, which is Quants, LR, as well as GK. So welcome Harshit. We are really happy to have you here, and I'm so happy that you can finally address questions of students that might be appearing for the CMAT exam.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you for inviting me, first of all. It's been an exciting opportunity interacting with you, getting to know you more about your channel, how you do, and it's a pretty interesting concept given the fact that all of the guidance and all of mentorship is being given from engineers to engineers, and there was this space of non-engineers being guided by someone, and your YouTube channel rightly serves the purpose. So thank you for that, and kudos to your initiative. Since I had given the exam, it's been almost 2 years now. There has been a slight change in the way the exam is being conducted now. Also, the exam now comes under the purview of AICTE, which further means that over 1,000 MBA or PGDM colleges accepts the CMAT scores.
Okay.
So first of all, if you are writing this exam on coming 9th of April, or if you plan to write this exam next year also, just be rest assured with the fact that there are a lot of colleges who are accepting it, and you will eventually get a good MBA PGDM college. Picking up the questions, the right questions at the right time will help you a lot.
Okay.
This exam is meant for you to score marks, not to lose, right? Like, for example, unlike the case of CAT or XAT, where marking more questions or attempting more questions might not make sense given the nature of the difficulty of that year's particular CAT or XAT, right? The CMAT exam throughout the years, I think for past 5 to 7 years, has been the same, that the questions are easy in nature. I can assure you that if someone has given CAT, if someone prepared for CAT, XAT or any other exam diligently, if he knows the basics right, then CMAT is a far easier exam.
Okay.
But then again, it poses another kind of a conundrum here, that if it's easy for you, it's easy for everyone. You just need not to crack this. You need to crack this really well, far better than a lot of others. So, which essentially means that your percentile should be at a very higher bracket, right? And by a higher bracket, I mean, if you are aiming for colleges, let's say, the colleges that are accepting this year's CMAT exams, JBIMS is there, IMT Ghaziabad is there. We have KG Somaiya, Sydenham Institute of Management is also there. Then we have Jim Goa as well. So these are the top colleges that they are accepting. Talking about targeting these top colleges, at least 99 percentile should be the least target.
Okay.
For JB, you need to go as high as, let's say, 99.6 or 7 or 8.
Okay.
But for other colleges, at least a 99 percentile, you should definitely target. And trust me, when I'll explain it later to you also, it is pretty doable. Your exam, that you make full use of your 3 hours, right? Since the exam is easy, there will be at least 80% of the questions that you will be able to skim through and you will be able to mark very confidently. But still, there will be a bracket of, let's say, a total of 20 questions which you might find hard to crack, or you might need to put your brain cells into it and say, okay, I'll have to do it. So, or you need to tick all the 3 boxes: speed, accuracy, and your number of attempts, in order to get a very good percentile.
So what, according to you, would be a good attempt in this exam, like section wise or overall?
So first of all, my straight advice would be, you have to attempt all the 100 questions. Okay. There is no point in leaving a single question, given the fact that you have to assume that it's an easy exam. If it's an easy exam, there will be a lot of candidates, a good number of candidates who will be attempting all the 100 questions, even if it means that they will be fluking all 100 as well. But they will be attempting all 100.
Okay.
Right? Let's just assume that out of the 100 questions, I will get to the sectionals part later. There are 100 questions, 80 of them are easy, right? So you are for sure, and given the exam pattern over the years, you can assume that at least 80% of the questions will be easy. Now that the rest 20 questions is where the game will change for everybody.
Okay.
Your 99.5 and your 98.5 percentile difference will be judged by these 20 questions only, right? Because everyone will be doing that same 80 questions. So first I'll talk about the language comprehension section. Language comprehension section, you should expect maybe one VARC, which will be easy to medium to comprehend. All the questions as per the paragraph only. It won't be like that there will be very deep hidden meaning questions which would lead to multiple answers. There is nothing like that. You can read and you can mark. Okay. It will be like that for sure. There might be 2 to 3 questions which will strictly be, let's say, what's the antonym of this? What's the synonym of this? I have never heard that word. Now that is that question which you need to leave right now. And that might be, let's say, that might comprise a total of 3 to 4 questions out of those 20 questions.
Okay.
Right. So just leave those 3-4 questions aside for this section. Right. Now talk about the logical reasoning. Logical reasoning questions can come in both forms. It can, they can give you a set also, and they can give you individual questions. Let's say they can give you a series question, 2, 4, 8, and then what would come next, right? The strategy for this section should be that you first skim through all the 20 questions. Unlike the language comprehension, because in language comprehension, you don't need to skip all the 20 questions. Start doing it random. Start doing it from the word go, right? Then you start the LR, skim through questions. First mark the very easy ones, and then take up a set, because that might take some time. The third section I'll talk about is the quant and DI part. Now in the quant DI, the QA DI section, consider this as QA section first and DI section later, right? Okay. So the QA part needs to be done first. DI will take time, and there might be a possibility that DI question is extremely difficult or it is extremely easy.
Yeah, your strategy was to attempt QA first, because you said that. Why is it that you are saying that attempt QA first?
The reason I'm saying is because if you attempt the DI part first and you get stuck, right, you might get stuck for the whole section also.
You're saying that the difficulty would be if like the DI comes to be difficult. Oh, got it.
Correct. And given the fact that you would know that the exam is easy, you would be in that mode also that everyone is doing the same questions.
Correct.
Right? So you will also be in that competitive mode also, that I need to do it first or I need to do it correctly. Right? There is one good thing about this exam is because 3 hours seems a lot of time. And it is indeed a lot of time to give that exam and crack it. You will be able to do the complete exam or to attempt all the 100 questions, skim through all the question, let's say 90 minutes, another 90 minutes. The next 90 minutes, you can take as much time as you want to actually assess the question which you were not able to do correctly, or you can reattempt the set in case of a DI or an LR set, right? And be doubly sure that you did it right.
Yeah.
The next is a general awareness part. Again, general awareness is something which no one can really know whether it will be very easy or it will be very difficult, right? For example, in my when I was giving this exam, I had an experience of general awareness. I was the GK faculty at one of the education institutes, so I was well versed about all the current affairs, all the static history and stuff, and rightly so, I attempted 24 out of 25 questions, and with almost 20 of them correct. Still, I couldn't crack all of them, which essentially I'm proving that nobody knows all the GK, right? And no one can know.
Yeah.
However, there will be very basic questions about general awareness also. Let's say, for example, it's happening in the month of April, right? So you can skim through all the important days that happens in the month of April. There will definitely be some questions related to COVID-19. There are high chances that questions might come around petroleum also. The rising gas, who is the petroleum minister, who is the this and this, who received the latest Oscars.
Okay.
However, you can still make some calculated guesses, but GK section, you can attempt at the very last. उसे छोड़ दो बिल्कुल. Consider कि वो 20 questions अभी है नहीं. I need to focus on my 80 questions and get at least 70 of them absolutely right.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
Innovation and entrepreneurship, since I did not give that section, I'm not sure what this section would hold, but you can expect that section to be very easy, like literally very easy. It will be more of logic based rather than knowledge based, right?
Could be like critical
You can
reasoning
ask,
or decision making or something.
yeah, it can involve decision making. It can involve anything around what should, let's say, Ramesh is an XYZ businessman.
Situation
He is
based.
taking loans, and what should he do?
Oh.
Something you do, a decision making, the kind of decision making you make in a SAT exam also.
And what was your order of attempt across the 4 sections that were there during your time?
I think I attempted again language reasoning first. Since my GK was good, so I attempted the GK questions at the second. Then I attempted the LR one, and then I attempted the QADI one.
So now with like about a week left for the exam, if you were to give some tips, like last minute tips to the aspirants, what would they be?
Find as much mocks as possible on internet. Give all the free mocks. Just get the practice of those questions. There is nothing, there is no formula, no rocket science behind, let's say, preparing or last minute revisions. This is not an exam where you would need to revisit your concepts again and again. Just brush through them once. Just be in a good practice mode, because I'm pretty sure that if you're giving this exam, your last exam would have happened almost a month and a half ago, right? So you would have gotten into your shell where you might not be taking up books again right now. You will already be thinking for next year ka attempt. All those things in mind might have clouded your basic concepts ka knowledge. You can just brush it up. If you have prepared well for your exam season, this 1 week is more than enough to crack the exam.
Okay.
Because the moment you will be at marking 80-85 questions correct, you have already gone into that 99% wala bracket.
Okay.
The last 15 questions, which contains an element of luck for sure, and how smartly you manage and mark those answers will make you stand out than the others.
Okay. And I think I haven't taken CMAT, but I'm just guessing that if I was at someone's place who is about to take this exam, there'll be this dilemma of, if I, let's say, make it to a certain institute, if I get a short list, should I take it? Should I reappear for the CAT exam? How should one solve this? Like, are there good institutes that one can make it to through CMAT? That's one. And if they get a short list, should they sit for the CAT again? How do they make this choice?
There are a lot of aspirants who know themselves, who know from what background are they coming from. Their ultimate aim might not be to, let's say, get an IMA or an IMB, right? For a lot of people, an MBA degree holds a lot of value, just an MBA degree from any college, right? And if you haven't been lucky enough to get a good score in a CAT or SAT, and if you are desperate, maybe out of your life situations or your age, your profile, so on and so forth, XYZ factors, then CMAT exam becomes a very important exam for you. There are colleges, as I mentioned earlier, also you can get into Sydenham, SIMSRI, you can get into JIMGO as well. In Tier 2, there are some top 3-4 colleges. IMT Ghaziabad is one, SIMSRI, IMT KJ Somaya, Wellinger for that matter is a good college which accepts. And then there is JIMGO also. So there are 4 or 5 colleges. In Tier 1, there is JB. So if you want to get into JB, you need to top this exam. That's the only way, right? If an exam is giving you the opportunity of still making it to a Tier 1 college, then there is only one way out. You need to top this exam. There is no right or wrong in it. However, if you don't end up getting into JB, or let's say cracking this exam by scoring the highest marks in the whole country, you still will be able to get a good colleges, as I mentioned, right? Okay. And there are other 900 odd colleges also which accepts the CMAT score. So maybe there is a college which is good college and it is near your location, and there are situations you don't want to get your MBA done from another city, then you can apply through CMAT score and get into it. There is another good thing about CMAT exam, that when you will be coming out after giving an CMAT exam, you will not be demotivated. You will have a happy factor in your mind. I gave that exam and it went very well for me.
Because it's fair.
You end up scoring good or not, but it's an exam. It's a feel good factor exam. It is not an exam that's going to give you a lot of tension.
I think I have covered mostly everything that I wanted to. Is there anything that you would want to mention, like a concluding tip for someone who's preparing for, let's say, the series of management exams that are going to happen next year?
Yeah. So as I mentioned that you just sit for this exam, see what's in store for you. I'm assuming that things go well for you and you crack a college also, right? If you crack a college, I think then you should look forward. Then you should take a call whether to get into that college or you have it in you to prepare for next year. That is another good thing about this exam. It will give you options to eliminate or options to skip also. Because I'm pretty sure you will be receiving a lot of calls from a lot of colleges. You will yourself understand whether my priority in doing an MBA from this college lies in this college itself or I can aim for higher also.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just hope that you will aim for higher and then you prepare accordingly.
I think so. Like from my end, that's all. And would like to really thank you, Harshit, for taking out the time and addressing this particular topic. I honestly had no information about CMAT, so I really wanted to bring someone on the channel. So thank you so much for addressing them.
Thank you, Shweta.